Alright guys, so I'm working on the front brake calipers. Um, I got the 14mm bolt off to hold it right here. I took off the adapters with a little brass piece. Now I'm going to blow air inside here and it's going to push this piston out. When you do that, you want to have a rag here to keep it from damaging the piston, and also a rag over here to cover the wheel up so you don't spill any or get any and sprayed in your face. Put a little bit of air in there. Shut it out. Now just start cleaning it out. Alright, so this one's fairly clean. I just need to take some brake clean and clean this off. You don't want to use any sandpaper or anything like that because you'll mess up the surface on it. In here you can sandblast it carefully, but just make sure you don't mess up this because this needs to be smooth so it doesn't interrupt that rubber seal. I went ahead and hit this with the flathead. There's a metal ring around here that keeps it from, or that holds it in. And there's also a square cut seal in there. So spray all that down with brake clean and clean it off real good. Sandblast it if you want. Don't sandblast in here. And you can respray the brake caliper and make them look brand new. Just don't get any overspray in here or in the threads. Alright, so the next step, what you want to do is pull this out. This is going to be your sliding caliper bolt and your sliding caliper bolt bracket. It's got a whole bunch of grime on there. You spray some brake clean on there or some penetrant. It'll break down all this grease and dry it on rust, and it'll come right off. Don't hit that with sandpaper because that needs to be smooth. Inside here you got a piece of Teflon liner with the rubber boot. This is part of your spring back, so it'll hold that on there. You need to make sure you put lube inside there and on this side. If you want to take them out, what I did was I collapsed this side right here. I put a round pick in there that's not sharp through there, pushed this whole thing down, sprayed some WD-40 in there to loosen up and make this rubber twist, and you can actually twist and walk it out. Same thing on the other side. Just be real careful with that Teflon line. Alright guys, so I've already sandblasted the caliper and I've already repainted it. As you can see, I got the square cut seal inside here already. I didn't oil the inside of it because I didn't want it to move around and roll on me when I'm trying to set this piston in there. I also sandblasted the inside of the piston cup so that way the rust doesn't form back in there again. And this side you could probably sandblast if you needed to, but I would not sandblast the this side right here. It needs to be smooth. I would clean it with the emery cloth or this green Scotch-Brite cloth, which is what I did, and just get any debris off in there. There's actually a lip around this O-ring, or not this O-ring, this piston that this O-ring sits on, or the boot, and to verify that it's seated, just pull this back and you'll see that all the way around it's actually seated in that groove. And then when you're done, just push this back up, and we're going to go ahead and set this in here. You're going to want to drive it down in there straight. I bought from Advanced Auto Parts, they had a bearing installer kit, came with 6 of these. This one just happens to be the right size. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this down and I'll show you after that. Alright, so I got it seated. Now I'm going to go ahead and just push this little ring down all the way around it. And it'll just go right in. You're going to make sure that you have everything nice and clean in there. I put a little bit of brake fluid so that way it would just slide right in. Let's see. Just push it down and it fits flush. And that's all there is to it. There you go. This right here is a little brass adapter that goes from, I believe it's 3/8 to quarter. Don't quote me on that. But I went ahead and cleaned it up, reused it. I got some Loctite, the orange one, so that way it'll still be able to come off and it's not completely stuck on there. The wrench is 5/8 line wrench. So you go ahead and tighten that up. There's also these rubber boots. If you go to Adventure 4x4, they actually sell these. I'll put the part number in the description. But you have to buy the Teflon slit inside there and the rubber boot separately. But what I did on this one is I coated the inside of this hole, because when I went to take them out they were seized and I had to soak it with WD-40. One of them I ripped, so I just went ahead and ordered all 8 brand new ones, one for each caliper. Put some grease inside here and leave this in there. Pull that plastic piece out and clean it if you're going to reuse yours, and then reinstall it. Just be careful not to break it and distort it, because then it'll be a pain in the butt to put the sliding caliper bolt back in. But let me get to the next step and then I'll show you how to install it. Alright, so I went ahead and installed the other one on there. If you get that plastic Teflon piece, whenever you're pushing this in and it starts pushing it out the side, what you can do is you can start this, put the Teflon piece on here, push it in first, and then force this in and follow after it and have your finger on the side to stop it from pushing it all the way out, and it'll line itself and square everything up for you. Alright, so I have a problem with this one not going in. So I took the Teflon piece out of here, started it, wrapped it around this collar, and as you can see it's pushing it through. I need to push this side through at the same time and just work it in. So now it's on there the proper way. I went ahead and put some yellow Loctite on here, or on these sliding caliper bolts. That bolt that you saw that went in there, I got some grease there I got to take off. There you go, those are all assembled, and the socket to put it on is a H7 Allen key to take those bolts off.